Okay. So I went online. Here you go. Hydraulic flow in second gear. 545 RFE. There we go. 2C. This is a 2C clutch pack. Accumulator. Check ball. Pressure switch. Check ball. Solenoid. Line pressure. There's line pressure to both solenoids. 4C. 4C is the one that sets the treble code. 2C turns on to make second gear happen, and then this 4C pressure switch starts to energize, or starts to close. Like, here is pressure switch for the 4C clutch pack. According to all data, these two are never supposed to be on at the same time. There's a check ball here. This passage, without this check ball, this passage would be open to both sides. Here are your pressure switches. This pressure switch for the 2C clutch, energized, solenoid open, line pressure. Against this check ball seals off this passage, line pressure. Once the accumulator is filled, the clutch pack is filled, and this pressurizes, this pressure switch closes. That means that's applied. That is in the applied circuit. Clearly says that neither one of these are applied in at the same time. So here is the circuit. Second prime gear. This has the 4C clutch energized, 4C clutch accumulator. This check ball is in the other direction, blocking this passage off. Pressure switch for the 4C clutch, pressurized by the 4C solenoid, allowing line pressure to fill the accumulator, pressurize the clutch pack, and push the pressure switch. Now, you go between here and here, our check ball is going the other way. If this check ball was out, I don't really think that's the problem, because the way it acts kind of funny, but it is very possible it's just this check ball. It's hard to put these passages into, like, well, I'll get to that. Anyways, if this check ball was out and you turned on this solenoid and this check ball was out, you would pressurize this side just the same. This would all pressurize. And you would get this pressure switch closing as well as this in a limp mode situation, forcing these to be turned off. This check ball manual, when the manual valve is put, and this truck doesn't have that where you can put it in a manual second. This truck, I don't even know if this truck has this circuit. It probably does, but it probably has a different manual valve because it actually only goes to the drive position. So either way, I'm not even 100% sure. It says this is what does that mean? Anyways, these two circuits should be isolated unless both are being energized at the same time, and they're not. I get 2C clutch solenoid energized by the computer, it feels like a shift, and then this pressure switch starts to energize. Once this pressure switch starts to close, it turns off everything and it goes into limp. So there's leakage between this circuit and this circuit no matter what. The computer never commands both of these on at the same time. It tells you they can't be on at the same time by the strategy. So we get this circuit turns on to create second gear, and then this circuit goes on off, and it goes into limp mode. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But just further evidence that there's a cross leak inside the transmission somewhere. And then, you know, you come over here to like, a cross leak could happen. This is clearly a 4L60. This is not that same transmission, but you get cross leaks, and anywhere in there, you get, there's, this particular transmission has 4 sealing rings here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If one of those was out, you would have a cross leak between passages, and each one of these passages, see the holes? There's a hole there, a hole there, and there's a hole down there. That's actually a lube circuit. But anyway, so there's 3 clutches there. You leave one of those sealing rings out, boom, you got an issue. You leave out check balls, fluid goes both ways, you could have an issue. It's easy. But I've never done one of these transmissions. I have a feeling I'm about to learn how. Anyway, yeah, just online. This thing's bugging the hell out of me. I want to get it fixed, but I also want to get my money back. So anyways, we'll see what happens.